It's 1921 and Molly Burkhart, an Osage woman in Osage County, Oklahoma, watches her family crumble mysteriously. Wealth pours from beneath their land as oil gushes, yet her relatives start dying, shot, poisoned, vanished. Who's behind this silent massacre, and why does justice feel miles away, tangled in shadows of greed, betrayal, and a failing new FBI? This isn't just a crime story, it's a dark secret bubbling beneath America's golden age. The Osage Indians became America's richest people overnight, but wealth on their land sparked envy and evil unlike anything the country had seen. Molly's sister Anna was poisoned after buying a dress. Her sister Rita was shot. Their deaths weren't accidents. The burials piled up around Osage County like grim milestones, 24 victims in years. Local white settlers, some even appointed guardians over Osage heirs, began reaping fortunes from stolen headrights, the rights to oil royalties. Molly's own husband was implicated, a chilling hint of betrayal in flesh and blood. Imagine oil as a magnet, not just pulling money but dragging out the worst in people, like rust seeping into pristine water. The Osage discoveries made them absurdly rich, but that wealth was an open invitation. These oil headrights were legally complex, making every drop not just money but leverage, like holding the strings to another's life, tempting corruption and dark deals under the guise of legal guardianship. What's striking is how society's institutions enabled the crime. Corrupt lawyers, crooked lawmen, and white guardians exploiting the Osage. It showed how the law meant to protect was twisted into a deadly tool. Justice was perverted so deeply that uncovering the truth took relentless courage, and a fledgling FBI's first real challenge, proving that wealth can poison even those sworn to serve and protect. As deaths mounted, interference and incompetence slowed justice. Enter the FBI, young and untested, with everything on the line. J. Edgar Hoover, wanting to prove the FBI's worth, took on the Osage killings as a make-or-break case. After bungled early efforts, he handpicked Tom White, a former Texas Ranger known for smarts and grit, to lead a discreet sting operation. Hoover's pressure wasn't just about justice, it was about shaping a national law enforcement identity. White gathered a motley crew including undercover agents and one of the FBI's only American Indian operatives. They didn't just chase clues, they blended into the community, digging beneath the surface of a society steeped in mistrust and fear. Their work was like peeling back layers of an onion, each revealing darker corruption tied to the multi-million-dollar oil fortune. They brought modern methods, wiretaps, surveillance, interviews, that felt alien in this brutally lawless frontier. Imagine detectives armed with typewriters and telegrams in a world still marked by desperados and shootouts. Their work culminated in dramatic nights of ambushes and arrests, shifting the FBI from a fledgling agency to a national crime force. The investigation exposed a nightmare, a conspiracy so cold and calculated it still haunts American history. The killers weren't mere bandits, they were trusted insiders, a network of white guardians, businessmen, and even local officials who systematically eliminated Osage heirs to claim their oil fortunes. The murder plots involved poisoning, shootings, staged accidents, each designed to look like tragedy or coincidence. The scale was methodical, chilling, a cold war for wealth masked as American justice. Guardianship laws meant Osage individuals deemed unable to manage their wealth were assigned white trustees, often corrupt men who controlled their financial lives. This legal tool morphed into a lethal weapon. Victims' deaths conveniently cleared the path for guardians to inherit or sell tribal headrights, turning law into murder by paperwork. It's a brutal example of how legal systems can be twisted to kill. Though the FBI's investigation led to convictions and shattered this murderous ring, the damage was immeasurable. The Osage community bore deep wounds, loss, grief, betrayal that echo to today. Yet this dark chapter sparked vital conversations about sovereignty, justice, and the American legal system's failures, a haunting reminder that wealth and power often come at a deadly cost. Back where we started with Molly, every loved one lost was a thread unraveling a bigger truth, how America's promise betrayed an entire nation. The Osage murders remind us to look beyond wealth and power, question whose voices are silenced, and fight for systems that protect, not prey. Try this: next time you hear about corruption, ask yourself, who's really paying the price behind the headlines? Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.